Now, I know you've been following the development in the Senate since Monday. Now, Nigerians have also been following with rapt interest and keen interest on what is going on, how it is playing on. Recall that the Senate said they were going to be very thorough. And seeing it from that perspective, when they juxtapose that statement by the Senate initially to what they saw on the floor of the Senate during the screening, some said, well, I wonder how thorough that it could be seen to be. But you have been watching it. I wonder what your assessment has been so far.
Yes, it's very disturbing because it appears the members of the Senate are not even asking the right questions. Because don't forget, some of these people, they've been in government before. And this is a critical moment to ask them questions, how they are going to do things differently. Take, for instance, look at what happened to Rufai yesterday. A member of the Senate said, look, I have a petition against this nominee. And then somebody said, look, we are not here for that. Now, why don't you listen to that person? And you see, if you look at the list, it's full of political actors, although I know they are technocrats. And at the same time, the APC government promised 35% women will make up the cabinet. Now, 1/4 of that list are made up of women. And some of the people on this list, if you look at it critically, some of them have this colorful past. I will expect the Senate to ask them questions. El Rufai was the governor of Kaduna State for almost 8 years. The insecurity in that state during those 8 years is something all of us should be concerned about.
Well, some always say that it will be security is still within the purview of the federal government.
Yes, I take your point, but you want to be a minister of the federal government of Nigeria. So what we expect a member of the Senate to ask him question that, should you be appointed as the Minister of Defense? How will you do things differently if considering what happened when you were the governor in Kaduna State? These are the sort of questions you expect the members of the Senate to ask. And if you look at this list, there are 4 former governors in that list. Governor Wike, despite, he tried his best possible as the former governor of Rivers State, but whether they are more of substance than publicity, we don't even know. And if you look at Governor Wike, he's a very controversial and decisive figure in the sense that for the past 8 years, this man has been the governor of Rivers State, was the governor of Rivers State for 8 years. During those 8 years, he's been used to dishing out authority. Now you are out of office. Somebody needs to purge you out of that power that, yes, I'm the governor. The last decision boils down to me. Then we are now appointing you as a minister. It's not like being a governor. How are you going to do things differently? And Nigeria has all sorts of problems. We have political problems, we have social problems, we have economic problems, we have a threat to our major existence. Anybody who wants to be a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must be able to address and convince us, how are you going to solve all these problems we have? The president, in fairness, he has taken some bold initiative in the last 2 months. But the snowball effect of those initiatives is that most people have been pushed to poverty. Nigerians, even before Asiwaju regime, has been going through bread and water months by month. Has that stopped now? And if you want to be a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, how are you going to address that? The promise from APC during the Buhari administration was that, look, we are going to take 100 million people out of poverty. Now, you remove subsidy. Fair enough, there will be argument for and against. That's fine. Now, but as that time, did you consider what will be the snowball effect? Because once you remove subsidy, the price of the premium spirit or whatever is going to go up. The cost of moving foodstuffs and what have you from the northern part to the western part will go up. And then what will happen to all these market women? They are going to push that increase to the consumer, the ordinary people. And now we have this issue. This should have been thought through before you come out, because that subsidy removal was even done by the president 1 month ahead before the time. But having done that, maybe it wasn't well thought out that, look, what are we going to do? Now they are coming up with these palliative measures. Fair enough. But whoever is going to be a minister, how are you going to make sure that these palliative measures gets to the ordinary people? And that is the issue. We have had a Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs in the past. What happened? All the money disbursed, it ended up to be a controversial issue here and there, where some people said, look, this money was not widely distributed. You've heard recently the NNPP governor in Kano State being critical about certain measures taken by the federal government. So, you see, we have all these issues. And the other point, which are concerned without deviating from the major issue, is this nominee. How come the president was declared as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the 1st of March? Now, the inauguration took place on the 29th of May. If I'm going to be the president of the Federal Republic, that is a sufficient time to have my list ready, those who are going to work with me. And one good thing about this, our president, is that he's a very benevolent president in the sense that if you are loyal to him, there is a possibility you will be rewarded. If at the end of the day, you're a political aspirant and you fail one way, there is a possibility you are going to be rewarded. But the major question which we need to ask ourselves is that all these measures taken so far, are those measures going to deliver the dividends of democracy? I know it's too early to judge. I know time will tell, because time is a good weapon. But the issue we have on the table here, Nigerians want to know how they are going to enjoy the dividends of democracy, how their life is going to improve under this administration. And we have to be very careful of one thing. If you watch that, is it like a play called Yes, Prime Minister? What happened in that play was very sad, because you get members of the cabinet saying anything the prime minister said, all of them will say, yes, prime minister. But at the end of the day, we don't want a president that will surround himself with yes men and women. We need ministerial nominee who will be able to look at the president in the eye and say, sorry, Mr. President, that's not the right way to go. Right. This is the right way to go. And that's my own take.